So, oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited today. I'm here with my guest. A little bit about me and my guest. It's so funny because ameingia tu, yani wote tukaanza tu kucheka kwa sababu the vibe is just so great. It's just so amazing. So, I am going to tell you a little bit about my guest today. So, mimi na Mboni, tunarudi way back. We went to school together. Tukiwa wadogo, yani I'm talking about wadogo sana. We were just little kids, and ever since toka tulipomaliza shule, we have never kept in touch. She was recommended to come on the podcast by a very good friend, and so this is just divine. Like Mboni said, alipoingia tu hapa kwenye podcast akasema, oh my gosh, this is such a divine moment. So we're so excited to be here.
I'm bubbling.
It's just amazing. And I think the one beautiful thing, this is so exciting, is because the last time we saw each other, we were babies. Little babies. And now we're women, we're mamas. I know. Oh my gosh, those days were fun. Sasa, to begin, as always, hapa kujiongeza podcast, tuko hapa kujifunza, tuko hapa kuelimishana, tuko hapa kujuzana na kufurahishana, of course. Na siku ya leo, it's just gonna be a beautiful moment, just like any other days. Napokuwa na wageni hapa, kila mgeni anapokuja hapa natokea kujifunza kitu fulani, kimoja ama viwili, and sometimes najikuta tunasema wow, nilikuwa sijui hilo. So I really love these moments with my guests because mimi mwenyewe najifunza sana. So natumaini na wewe kama uko nyumbani, kama uko popote pale ulipo unaangalia hii podcast discussion leo, kwamba na wewe utajifunza one thing or another na utaweza kujiongeza. Lengo zima, dhumuni zima ni kujiongeza. Chochote tunachokitoa hapa tuweze kukitumia kwenye maisha yetu na kuweza kuona, kuona maisha in a different way na kuweza kujiongeza. So Miss Mboni nitampa muda wa kujiintroduce kidogo ili tuweze kumfahamu yeye ni nani. Mimi tayari namfahamu ni nani, lakini kwa wale ambao hamfahamu Mboni, basi nitampa muda wa kujiintroduce kidogo. Miss Mboni, kwa kwanza naomba utuambie, so kwa wale ambao wako nyumbani ama mtu ambaye ametuni na hakufahamu labda, what do you want to tell them about yourself? Alafu ni kwa nini ni muhimu waangalie hii discussion yetu hapa leo, kwamba wewe uko hapa kuongea na sisi, ni vitu gani ambavyo they should look forward to?
Wow, thank you very much first of all for having me on your platform. Na kabla hata sijaanza kufanya introduction yoyote, allow me to give you your flowers. You're really umejiongeza. Just like the name of your podcast, umejiongeza. I think what I would like to contribute, or my presence here today, is to fit right into the title of your podcast, Jiongeze. I want to share how I had done, how I've had those moments of Jiongeze in my own life. So I think it's going to come out through tunapokuwa tunaongea. So who am I? I'm more or less everything really. I wear many hats, lakini by and large ni mwalimu ambaye have been in university lecturing for close to maybe 10 years. Yeah, close to 10 years. Kwa hiyo before that nilikuwa corporate, nilikuwa kwenye kampuni za simu, telecom, and I just felt like there was something that I needed to do more. I think it wasn't about the paycheck, but it was more about giving to society. I always feel that I'm one of those people. It's not about the money makes the world go round, it's beautiful, lakini I always feel like I had a calling kwenye this other area of affecting community. Kwa hiyo nikajikuta tu nimeingia kwenye hiyo eneo. I went, by that time nilikuwa na masters, nikaenda kusoma kuongeza zaidi, nikapata doctorates, and then I took that knowledge back to the university, and nikakaa pale for a while, and then nikajiongeza, nikaona kwamba wow, there is a gap here that automatically just came on its own, and therefore darasa tech ikajijenga. So I think I'll just hint hapo, alafu we take it on from there. I just want the audience to feel kwamba wherever they are, whatever they have, wanaweza wakajiongeza with whatever resources ambazo wanazo at that very moment, because I worked with whatever resources I had at that very moment. The resources sio lazima iwe hela, inaweza kuwa ni skill, inaweza kuwa ni passion. Just know there's something in you that unaweza ukaitumia and you just ukajiongeza. Simply yeah, so from this podcast, who am I? I'm that person ambaye nimejiongeza. I think ongea, it's just gonna sit through and we'd find the angle. But yeah, I'm that person ambaye ni mwalimu ambaye amejiongeza with a passion.
I love that. I love that. So, labda turudi nyuma kidogo, ukisema kwamba wewe ni lecturer UDism?
RD University?
RD. Okay.
Yes. Ilikuwa ni UDism, yeah, it was former UDism. Alafu branched out as a college, alafu ikaenda ikawa. So yeah, a lot of people wanafikiri it's UDism, but imesha itenga, imekuwa its own study university, yeah.
Oh wow, okay, that's amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Asante sana kwa hiyo just amazing introduction. Kwa kwanza basi, naomba umeongelea kidogo kuhusu darasa tech. Technology is where we're at. Wiki mbili zilizopita kuna mtu ambaye pia interview, tulifanya conversation ambaye na yeye tuliongelea kuhusu mambo ya technology, kwa sababu na wao wana kampuni yao ya technology, wanafanya software, wana build software for companies, enterprise and all that stuff. So tukawa tunaongelea mambo ya tech. Kitu kinachonifurahisha ni kwamba kwa Tanzania, yani the majority, watu wengi wamechukulia tech is like a big thing na wako so involved in it, wako excited about it. So tell us a little bit, tuambie kidogo kuhusu darasa tech. What is darasa tech all about?
So contrary to what people believe, darasa tech is about tech, right? It's about tech because in a mentor in tech, training in tech, but it's more than just tech. So Darasa Tech is trying to create a platform. It's actually a vibe, okay? It's a platform that is giving access to disadvantaged people or the marginalized groups, watu ambao hawana access to, like the technology. So it's giving access to technology. Kija Darasa Tech na vifaa vya kutumia. It's also giving access to knowledge, lakini most importantly, it's solving a more systemic problem ambayo ni how can people use tech to be able to empower themselves? How can they use tech to be able to, solve their everyday challenges? How can they use tech to become entrepreneurs? And to kuongea lugha ya Gen Z sasa hivi, how can you use tech to make the buck? How can you use tech kuweza hauko employed, umemaliza chuo uko nyumbani, but you have tech and you have the skills, and how can you earn? So we're trying to solve that, and we're trying to also kuwafungua watu macho kwamba usikae nyumbani miaka minne because you don't know, like umekosa ajira, wewe ni mwalimu umekosa ajira. You have tech, you can come and learn tech. You have your bachelor degree in education, use it to do e-learning, use it to train Kiswahili, wafundisha wazungu kwa njia Kiswahili. Because I always say that there's nothing that tech cannot do. Tech on its own is nothing. Haina tija. I mean, it's good, but on its own it's really like an empty vessel. It needs context and it needs content in order for it to make sense. So bring the education thing going, inaenda. Leta kitu kingine, business, marketing inakwenda. It really much relies and depends on other disciplines sana tu.
Umeongelea kuhusu marginalized groups. Hebu tueleze kidogo kuhusu mtu ambaye haelewi kuhusu marginalized groups, so groups that disadvantaged groups. Yeah. What do you mean by that? Who is that group?
Well, I think that's a very, very good question because it depends on the perspective. Yani, ukiangalia vitabu vinasema, sasa hivi women are the marginalized groups. Lakini mimi, I want to say, I think probably anybody can fall in that marginalized group. Ndio tuna target the stereotypical gender, lakini pia kuna marginalized group kama watu wazima kidogo ambao wanaogopa kutumia technology, ambao they think they know, lakini wanapitwa kwa kasi sana na technology kama generative AI. Yani vitu vya kawaida. And when we talk about technology, we're really not talking about the super scientific kind of rocket science. Tunazungumzia the simple technology ambayo inakuwa kwa kasi so fast that if you don't have somebody hand holding you, unapitwa. So I would also say that kuna ageism. I would say like kuna group za kina mama zetu, baba zetu ambao wanabonyeza the screen instead of touching, vitu vidogo wanatumia simu ambayo it's almost like a computer that can for WhatsApp peke yake, wakati you can do so much on it. But then also the other marginalized group ni watu wadogo, the small people who tunaignore, tunasubiri mpaka wafike chuo kikuu ndio tunaanza kuwapa knowledge ya technology, lakini one of my favorite groups ambayo I'm trying to really explore, lakini it's in the making, is the disabled group. Tumesha kufanya kazi na wakina mama wajasiriamali, so it was like a double win, kwa sababu first ni wajasiriamali alafu pia ni wasiosikia, so we train them in digital marketing and how they can use social media to market themselves and brand themselves, lakini pia to brand their products. So that was really exciting. Tumeshaikuwa approached pia na wasioona. I mean, they heard us on the radio, and the man akatoka Kinondoni mpaka Kigamboni where the office is. Peke yake.
Wow.
Yule ni kiongozi wa ilo shirika la wasioona. And by that time tumemove, but by that time darasa ilikuwa ghorofa ya 3, and he just called akasema niko hapa chini, can somebody come and pick me up? I'm like, how did you get here? Ametoka Kinondoni, amepanda ferry, amepanda Pantoni, afika mpaka ferry, apandisha ngazi ghorofa, afika chini ndo akaomba msaada. And when he came, he's like, I want to learn. And so we also finding a way of how we can tufanye naye kazi, because when he comes with his group kuna special needs, tools, resources, people wanahitajika. So that's another exciting area that really pleases my heart, kuangalia jinsi gani tunaweza tuka bridge gap into the unconventional group ya marginalized people.
Yeah.
But then wanawake pia is in like vikoba. Funny enough, I get a lot of wanawake who want to learn. It's not even fun enough, but I think because we also try to create that safe environment and that safe space, kuuliza maswali ya kijinga, you know how women may feel kwamba, you know, ikiwa very male dominated space, I think women can tend to feel a bit shy kuuliza au wasionekana hawajui, but we create that environment where, you know what, come as you are.
Yeah.
And we'll sort you out.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. Kwa sababu ukiwa first nikupe maua yako. I have to do that. Kwa sababu the fact kwamba umeweza kumove from not just seeing what, let's say wanafunzi, vijana, kwa sababu kila mtu attract that group kwa sababu ndo wanajifunza haraka na ndo hao wanaojenga taifa, right? Lakini the fact kwamba nyie mmeweza kuona further than that, ama tuseme beyond that, kwamba kuna watu ambao they have special needs and they're part of the community.
Yes.
That's just so amazing. That is just so nice. So when watu wakija kama wenye special needs, na ndio maana napendaga kuongea kwa kuingiza pia Kiswahili kwa wale ambao pia kwa wale ambao hawafahamu special needs ni hivyo, watu labda vilema, viwete, mwenye matatizo ya macho. Special needs can be, yani ni vitu vingi, lakini ni mtu ambaye anakuwa na tatizo fulani labda la kiungo fulani, right? Na saa nyingine inaweza kuwa special needs kama autism, that's also special needs. Kuna vitu vingi sana viko kwenye special needs, lakini nataka tu watu waelewe kwamba ukiongelea special needs unamaanisha nini. So akija mtu kama, let's say ana matatizo ya macho, ni kipofu, mnaweza kumsaidiaje? Ama let's say mtu anafika pale ni kilema, hana mikono, walk us through how is this possible?
Yani it's, again, I think kwa sababu kuna such a wide spectrum of people with disabilities. So far tumefanikiwa na grupu moja. Kuna grupu nyingine we are seeing how we can explore it, kwa sababu now it actually means, it almost like, it's like almost doing a research, kwa sababu unahudumiaje wasioona, right? So the ones who can't hear, they actually came with wanamhitaji ile sign language. IMANI, walikuja naye. Yes. And then you also discover kwamba within that group kuna spectrum, yani kuna wasiosikia kabisa na kuna ambao they just read your mouth, so they're so attentive, so you, at some point you learn, it's like you don't know their language, lakini you start learning kwamba I have to enunciate more clearly. Kwa hiyo anakusoma alafu anakufanyia hivi, anakuambia hivi unaelewa, and then they try and talk to you, and sometimes some of them can speak, some of them cannot speak. Kuna different degrees, and then they do learn, like ukikana kidogo for a couple of even hours, you start conversating, because we're all one, you know, like we use the instincts to communicate, and so at some point mnaelewana, like but you have to use more vitendo, and so ukitoa ile, in the absence of the interpreter being there, ukiingia kwenye practical, it's almost like you're one, kwa sababu you're just like showing off the skills.
Wow.
You can do that, and then you just watch the facial expression, like, yeah. But also niliona kwamba they need more time, because with such groups, you would think that, you think like a mouse would be like the common, yani ni kama common sense or common knowledge, lakini we had to get over the hurdle of the hardware yenyewe, kwamba ukishika mouse ala mtu anaweza kawa ana, it's a bit intimidating. So then for me that was also learning kwamba, mimi nilikuwa nataka kujump straight into the content, lakini I had to do a warm up kidogo, kwamba it's okay, this is just a hardware, it's okay, like, kwa hiyo it was a beautiful experience. And I also know kwamba haitaji haraka, and inahitaji patience, inahitaji a lot of love, bila kukasirika, so that they also feel that they are important. It's a lot of, yeah, I think from that experience nimejenga urafiki with a couple of them, kwa sababu tulikuwa tunaendelea kuchat. Sometimes we meet in different events, and when we see each other we are happy. So yeah, that's the experience I've had with that group. But the one for the Wana, I really want to explore that, but it's not something about I jump in, because it's almost like nahitaji kuwa prepared. Yeah, I need more resources, kwa sababu hata wao wakiacha kazi zao, they also need to be compensated. So inakuwa sio kama darasa la kawaida, inakuwa almost like an outreach, like a community engagement kind of thing. So niko kwenye hiyo process ya ku prepare for that group and to see how we can work with them.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's just wow. Kwa sababu the amount of patience that you have to have, the amount of care you have to have, sisi wenyewe kwa wenyewe, hata kama ni mtu mzima una vyako vyote, you are you. Sometimes hata mimi na wewe, let's say tunafanya kazi, tunaweza tukashindwana, kwa sababu it's just the human thing.
The human dynamic. Yeah, the human dynamic.
Right. Yeah. So I can't imagine with this or other, type of dynamic, when we talk about dynamics. Wow, congratulations on that. Je, mnachukua watu kutoka, mnashirikiana na mashule, how does it work?
So there was actually, I want to use the word again, kujiongeza, because there was no actually like a business plan when Darasa Tech started. It was more like a passion. Like, I was like, let's just go and we'll see how it rolls. Okay. So at some point tunashirikiana na shule za sekondari, and so far tuko very close to a shule, and when we got this premise, I'm like, wow, what a blessing kwamba tuko karibia na shule. And if you cannot serve the environment around you, then I don't know what you can do. Because for us, we felt like it was like, wow, again, divine. I think like that. So we tumeingia kwenye partnership now, and what has transpired from that partnership ni kwamba we were like giving back to community, lakini from there we have had people interested in actually taking part in some of the causes, like the real causes. Kwa hiyo nikisema the real causes, they're all real causes, lakini we had this kama events and awareness and sensitization and that, simply because tuko karibu nao. But then we have people ambao wameamua from that kwamba wakimaliza darasa, yani wakitoka darasani saa 11 saa 12, they join us for an actual program. Of which wamewaambia as well, like, we need to go join this program. So in that way, lakini pia tunakuwa tuna open events at least once a month, where we just again, kwa sababu Darasa Tech is a platform that deals with community, na bila community I don't think, the whole essence of Darasa Tech won't be. Kwa hiyo tumejaribu sana ku bring people, kwanza wanakutana amongst themselves, they don't know each other, they don't know different, kwa hiyo they meet from different schools, from universities, and then they get to learn these new different concepts. Sengine tunaweza tuka throw in labda AI, learn the importance of AI. Now why we like AI is one of our favorite, kwa sababu tunajua kama we're kind of behind huku Africa, lakini we need to participate in the race. We need to contribute sana tu through in different various forms. Ukitoa generative AI, ukitoa hizi ChatGPT, ukitoa hizi za Facebook, ukitoa even the screen that's around me, which is AI, lakini we need to take part. Like, not only that, wanawake pia tunahitaji to take part. So those are the kind of things that tunafanya sensitization. But my favorite topic of all is how mtu anaweza akawa ametoka background yoyote haijalishi, na hawa wanaweza kutumia technology to empower themselves. It's the language of the generation Z, na inakuja sasa hivi alpha. Usipoongea kuhusu manufaa ya hicho kitu and how it can fatten the pocket, you're missing out on the conversation with them. It's like nobody sasa hivi anataka kuhangaika sana. It was like how can we pumzika, but also by design, kwa sababu pia uchumi umekuwa a bit different na employment imekuwa different. Lakini how can we make money kwa tuko nyumbani au without extra time? I see this at a university, kila mtu anatafuta njia ya kutengeneza an extra income, the side hustle, the side hustle thing. So we actually supporting that. Kwa tuna support kwa kuambia kwamba whatever you have, whatever talent you have, whatever skills you have, whatever resources you have, hebu ongeza kidogo chumvi hapo ya technology and then see what happens. So that's one of our favorite topic, which I think is very relevant. Kwa hiyo tukiwa tunawaita tuna discuss vitu kama hivyo, and then if anybody is interested to take it further, ana enroll sasa darasani, anakuwa anapata one on one, wakija as a group wanapata a group discussion, au wanajiunga na course ambayo it's kind of running at a certain time. Tuna course nyingi, but you know, in order for kufika advance mara nyingi inabidi uanze hapa chini. So most of our group iko hapa chini kwenye the basics. Initially tuanza darasa tech, I was like, I think nataka kuserve ile group, you know, the most advanced na nini, but then you come and learn, you know, the research kind of uncovered itself, nikajikuta okay, so we need to be here. But most importantly pia tuna serve ile demographic ambayo wanatoka wanafunzi out of chuo, is like the life after university, and they literally do not know. I don't know, I think watu wengi tumepitia hichi kitu, unamaliza, it doesn't matter kama ni chuo lakini au sekondari, lakini unamaliza and then you're met with this kind of a dark cloud, and you don't know what to do with your life at that moment, kwa sababu you have been programmed throughout the university years or in high school to get good grades, kufaulu, ukajiriwe, and then all of a sudden umemaliza and you are like, I like to call it like the running man, yani unakimbia mbio, alafu you fall off the cliff and you're like, okay, where do I go from here? Kwa sababu you're not really sure how to apply the skills that you have learned darasani kwenda kuzimonetize. So with Darasa Tech, we're actually trying, in the moment nasema it's a space or it's a community, it's more than technology, because we're trying to solve that ile tatizo, au sio tatizo, but it's the concern ya vijana wengi ambao kitaka unaweza kusema they're also marginalized in a way, kwamba how do they launch. A lot of people ambao nikikutana nao nikauliza when did you graduate, wanakuambia 2 years ago. What are you doing now? Anipo tu mtaani. When they discover us, like, okay, huko mtaani nafanyaje? Basi tuna apply kazi, najaribu kutuma CV zangu, lakini okay, can you consider, what are you good at doing? What do you like? I like football. Okay, do you know you can actually use tech with football? How? Then we start a conversation, we go down a rabbit hole. You know, so that's for me, brings me joy. Nikki. So it's a training platform, mentoring, career development, life-changing atmosphere, a safe space for people to just discover themselves.
It sounds like it. Wow, it's amazing. Congratulations on doing that. Yani kuona the gap, and then wewe kama professor, na with all the knowledge you have, ukaona uanze kitu hichi hapa. And just the way you go about it, I think it's just so amazing. That is so wonderful. So we're going to shift gears a little bit, because we want to know more about you. Nadhani kuhusiana na hichi tunachokiongelea hapa kuhusu Darasa Tech, this is like a calling. Yani kwa jinsi unavyoendesha Darasa Tech and jinsi ulivyokuwa tunaelezea kila kitu, it's almost like a calling, ni wito. Kwamba so kwamba utatengeneza mamilioni, lakini the fact kwamba unataka kusaidia in the community, ile ni wito. I'm going to read this quote here, alafu tutaongelea zaidi into that. Calling. So ulisema kwamba there comes a time when ignoring your calling and your dreams with distractions in the form of unfulfilling jobs or relationships is more painful than confronting your fears and stepping out of your comfort zone to achieve your fullest potential. Answer your calling and live on purpose. What signs are you waiting for? So, nini kilikuwa kinaendelea in your mind that you put that quote like that?
Yeah. Wow. I think this is the first time anybody has ever asked me that. When I was writing, I went through a season, nilikuwa naandika a lot of that, and then all of a sudden I didn't. Like in that, during that time, I was actually going through my transformation. So I think a lot of times I was writing to myself. Because I think the journey at Darasa Tech was also a journey of discovery, and I cannot.
Naomba nikukate kidogo. Ukisema ulikuwa una go through a transformation, your transformation.
Yes.
Well, what kind of transformation is that? Or was that?
That's a good question. It was a transformation of awakening to my purpose, because I was unfulfilled in the normal 9 to 5, the normal operations za kila siku, the purposeless life. I thought and I felt in my spirit kwamba there was something bigger, but in order for that to be birthed, I had a glimpse of what was ahead, and I still have a glimpse. I wouldn't say I have the bigger picture, because I think that life has full of surprises, including this conversation right now. So I had a glimpse, and that glimpse was pulled by a yearning, a restlessness that I wanted to be doing something, and I felt that I needed to change my current thinking, belief system, my everyday activities, in order for me to achieve that what I saw a glimpse in my vision. So I had to kind of go through a death experience. When I say death experience, not a physical death, but a death experience of who I thought I was, what stories I told myself about me, the limiting beliefs that I thought I had or I carried. And so it didn't start like, I think it's just one step led to the next. When I was trying to correct one thing, another thing would open, and then I started spiraling into this beautiful experience of a journey. And I would say that even with that, it was not a comfortable feeling, but I think the calling in front of me was pulling me out of my comfort zone, because it didn't feel good even to be in that comfort zone, because there was a yearning for me to be somewhere else. So I went in this journey, and I feel like it was a journey of awakening. I thought I was going through the journey of Darasa Tech, but I think Darasa Tech was taking me on that journey. It was transforming me. I think
so. This was already after Darasa Tech. So the whole transformation, was it before Darasa Tech or after?
It was during. It was the same time Darasa Tech was birthing. It usually is like you say you want something, you are starting something, you're starting a business, you're starting a project, you're starting a new career. It usually transforms you. Like, it's almost like Darasa Tech is one entity and you another entity, and it will only grow if you grow. Like, you cannot get it to the place where you want to be with the same mindset, with the same programming. It's almost like, if for it to thrive, you also need to thrive. And I'm seeing it even today. Like, the more I grow, the more I feel Darasa Tech responds to the growth. So it's actually calling me. And at the end of the day, it wasn't even about Darasa Tech, but it was a journey of self-discovery. If that makes much sense. So yeah, I think the quotes I was writing, or they were more like on days where I felt like I discovered something new. Like, all this stuff was actually coming from inside, and it was a reminder to myself, and in that I was also sharing it. What I didn't know when I was writing it is, like, people would come to me and say, "Oh, we see your journey." Like, I didn't say me. I didn't directly quote it to me, but I would get feedback, and then I was like, okay, yeah. So it's very apparent that I'm going through that, and I get people, like, I got a lot of people coming to give me feedback about their own personal journey. So I feel like it was also triggering other people and giving them grace and giving them permission to walk their own jiongeza journey. If you say, you may say that, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Let's say mtu anakusikiliza sasa hivi, right? Kuna watu wengi watakusikiliza, au kuna watu wengi wataiona hii video na wataconnect na kitu unachoongelea, kwamba ulifikia mahali ukaona hivi vitu vyote ulivyokuwa unavifanya sio vibaya. Yani kama kazi, uko corporate and all that stuff, unatengeneza hela. Watu wengi wanaweza kukwambia, yani wewe unatengeneza hela afu unataka kukimbia kutokutengeneza hela. Lakini I think it takes a lot kwa mtu kuelewa kuhusu when you're going through a journey of transforming, like transformation, awakening. It's so personal in a sense kwamba vitu vingine vyote vokuwa unafanya, it's not that you don't care for it, lakini kama ulivyosema, unaona there's a higher purpose for you, and in order to reach that higher purpose, ni kama there's a roadmap you gotta build for yourself. Sasa mtu anayeangalia sasa hivi anaweza akasema na yeye mwenyewe amekuwa akijisikia hivyo, lakini how do you know there's a thin line or a gray area kujua kwamba I have a purpose and I need to go for that calling, there's a calling for me? How do you know that? How do you feel that? Also, unaweza kuwa uko so confused. How do we separate that and say, okay, I'm grateful for everything that I've been able to do so far, but I need to move on. I need to move on. I need to find me. I need to find my calling. I need to find a purpose, because I know I can feel it in me, but I don't know how to navigate that. How do we find out about our calling, our purpose? How do we know that?
That's a very, very thoughtful question and very beautiful question. First of all, if you allow me, I would say kwamba there's more than one calling. There's more than one calling, like at different times. I feel like the callings, I think if we have this discussion 20 years from now, I might be on another calling. I may be on another calling. Because I think kama kila calling ina muda wake, and you need to act on that muda. I would say kwamba kuna muda I had spent almost 1 year of doing nothing, because I believed kuna calling, but I was waiting for the big grand, ta-da, that kind of, Mboni, this is your calling. I was literally, I know it sounds dumb, but yeah, I waited for a year. Kuna muda, like I was like, waiting, and then I realized the following year I got really bored, because I was like, no, this. I got impatient. Let's just say I got impatient and bored. Nikasema, I cannot wait for that so-called "this is your calling" voice to come. So nikaanza to act on the urges. Urges sounds a bit wrong, like on the impulses, on the inspiration that I was experiencing minute by minute. Kwa sababu I came to realize kwamba hauonyeshwi the bigger picture. Ndio maana mimi nakwambia mpaka sasa hivi I don't even really understand the bigger picture. I'm living in the now. So if the now is telling me move left, I'm moving left now, kwa sababu it's incremental steps na sio one big giant leap. Na ukipewa full picture unaweza usiende uko nakoenda, because it can be scary and daunting. Kwa hiyo unapewa tu nani kimoja, and I guess the skill here is to be very obedient and somehow to connect yourself to higher source, whatever that is for you. Kwa hiyo ukipata inspiration, mara nyingi it's not even you really, it's like you're being inspired through your thoughts, through your feeling, your gut feeling, whatever it is, it's just telling you, Cynthia, move left. And you don't move left at that moment. You move left 2 years from now, it's irrelevant. Umeambiwa fungua duka kwenye kona ya mtaa wa 3, unaenda unafungua, kwanza utafungua 3 years from now, kwa sababu that calling itaenda kwa mtu mwingine. That inspiration itaenda kwa mtu mwingine. So you need to act almost not reckless, but you need to be bold and fast. And ukipewa kitu fast, do it, fail forward fast. Forward fast. Try it. It doesn't work. It didn't work. Unaendelea mbele. Not that the whole purpose didn't work, lakini that step that you made did not work. So you just kind of take those micro steps. Alafu ukiangalia nyuma 1 year from now, I was like, yeah, man, I did that. Usually, ukiwa kwenye your journey, you really don't even see the momentum, and it's almost like super slow, and you're like, I'm really do. Lakini I think sometimes ukiwa pia kwenye your journey, kuna ile amani, kuna uoga, lakini kuna amani. Kuna zile victories ndogo za hapa na pale, but then again it's really not about the purpose, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku utajikuta you're not the same person that you were when you are envisioning your journey. Kwa hiyo I guess we're all called to that purpose, lakini it is actually to realize our highest potential, in my opinion. Kwa hiyo if you're feeling something, if anybody ananisikiza, you feel something that you really, kuna kitu unataka kuanzisha, kuna biashara unataka kufanya, like you sometimes you might even want to quit your job, like to be an artist, like wewe ni lawyer, lakini this now sounds like our story the previous nani. You're a lawyer, alafu you are like, like your closet artist, alafu kumbe una kipaji hatari, kumbe una jicho hatari la kitu fulani, and then you can make a living from being a lawyer, lakini imagine the impact and the trickle effect and the magnitude ya community ambayo una cover by staying kwenye lane yako, kwenye kile kitu ambacho yani ukisogea to a few degrees to the right, and it's like unaweza usipate the money immediately, lakini the effect, the multiple effect ambayo ina nani, and just being in that energy, I think is enough to feed your soul and to not work in a day in your life, kwa sababu you're like, I'm being nourished by whatever that I'm doing, you know. So again, it's not the quantum leap, it's the quantum leap mwisho wa siku, kwa sababu kikai una quantum leap, but it's the little micro steps. And you don't need to know the whole, and hautaonyeshwa the big, mimi nimekaa wani natafuta the whole picture, hautaonyeshwa the bigger picture, even the how, hautaambiwa the how, unaambiwa to direction hapa na hapa, you're literally in the dark, and that is how it feels kufollow your purpose, kwa sababu ni njia ambayo haijai kupitiwa na mtu yoyote. Kwa hiyo uta stumble, you make mistakes, you go the wrong way, utafeka nyasi ambazo kuambiwa kufeka, sometimes you're using your mind, but then the inspiration really comes from your connection to source, to God, kwa sababu I think pale ndo kuna direction nyingi. Kwa hata kama kuna mtu ananisikiliza hapa haamini about these things, but I think we are more than just us. And I think pia wanasema, kuna msemo wanasema, if you want to really know your maker and you know God, like be an entrepreneur or follow your own path, follow that path, your purpose, kwa sababu at some point you need the navigator, and at some point itakurudisha tu kule.
You said something about being bold. That's a lot, kuwa bold. Unajua, ukiangalia jinsi tulivyokuzwa, culture zetu, jinsi tunavyokuzwa, of course tunakuzwa kwenye mambo ya Mungu. If you're Christian, unakuzwa kuhusu kumjua Mungu. Kama ni Muslim, unakuzwa kuhusu kuelewa Islam, you know, traditions and all that stuff. Sasa, kutake a bold move, unajua kisha kuwa umejengwa aina fulani, you know, sasa hivi ndio tulivyokuzwa. When you have these callings inside you, sasa unasikia kuna huo wito. Ninachojaribu kusema ni kwamba jinsi tunavyokuzwa actually sometimes inatufanyaga sisi tuwe nyuma, kwa sababu we are so afraid, we are so scared kusema ama kuongelewa vibaya, kwa sababu again wazazi wamechukua muda wote kukusaidia hivi, kukuongoza hivi, kukupa hichi, afu na community zetu zinavyotuform, halafu wewe unakuja unaanza kuchukua hizi bold moves, you know, like how do you reach that?
Wow, that's a very, 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 very good question, because I think kuna muda you have to make a decision. Kwanza, you cannot escape that process, kwa sababu unajua kuna ile theory wanasema ya car, or like is it crabs wakikaa kwenye jar, and they're all down here, if somebody tries to climb up wanajaribu kumvuta. So I'm not going to use that example from a malicious point of view. No, I'm going to use that example from a place where everybody defines people, like, you know, you look at somebody and you place them in their own box, you look at somebody, you place them in their own box, and you want them to remain like that because it makes your world safe. But the minute they start doing something different, it's like you have to look at yourself and like, what's going on? They are shifting. Am I staying here? And it kind of makes you kind of a little bit out of balance kidogo. The biggest watu ambao they'll kind of, I don't want to use the word pull down, I really don't want to use, I'm not going to sound negative, like the biggest skepticism utaipata when you're trying to elevate and move, na simanishi familia, like the people around you, your circumference, the people around you, your friends, your bestie, you know, your partner, your, like, ni watu around you who, like, we don't know you like that, and we want you to be like the way you are, because we don't know how to handle you right now. Like, say that to you, tunadina wewe vipi, yani hauko predictable, and it's uncomfortable for us. And then also, unavyoenda kule, it just makes us feel like we need to do something, and we're probably not ready to do something. So, it's easier. So, I listen to a lot of people who have gone through this. I've also listened to other speakers, and mara nyingi, you kind of need to break through that ceiling. And utakaa hapa chini for a while, because you care about what people think about you, you care about what society should, the image, you care, like, inafika mahali, it's like,
just say it.
It's like you just, I don't know when it happens, but it happens. It really happens, and that can be a lonely process, and it almost happens kwa sababu unapitia through such nobody tells you that this, like, it's a very lonely process. Like the journey of awakening or the journey of following your purpose, inafika mali inakuwa lonely, and then you get used to it, and you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You don't have to seek anybody's approval, kwa sababu umeshawa piss off so many people. It's like you have nothing to lose. You will piss off people. You will piss off a lot of people. And the nature of this journey ni kwamba uwezi kwenda na you can't go with a bunch of people. I mean everybody's on their own. Like, you cannot carry a bunch of people with you. You cannot carry lots of luggages kwa sababu ni mizigo mizito. So at some point unapelekwa peke yako. Kama unapita kwenye jangwa fulani, kwenye wilderness, it sounds extreme, but it almost is. It's like you need to sort out your vitu vyako huko ndani, yani for you to be able to be that leader that you need to be, kwa sababu hata kuna decision nyingine hamkai kama committee, inabidi utengeneze ufanye yani your own decision, and sometimes you piss off a lot of people so that you can make those decisions, because otherwise itabidi, I want to open a shop here, like unaenda kuuliza mama mdogo, unaenda kuuliza si jirani, best friend wako ambaye ana insecurity, labda best friend wako ataki, and they will be like discouraging you and stuff like that. So you kind of unaenda utaondolewa hawa watu by divine design, and itafika mahali you just be your own independent thinker, and you plan, and you won't really care. It just happens. Inafika one morning utaamka tu utaona, okay, I really don't care. What you think? I have nothing to lose anyway, you know. And then you start creating this norm, and utakutana sana like-minded people ambao they're doing these amazing things, and they support the movement, or they support this, and that's, I guess, like attracts like, I think, kwamba inafika. But guys, if anybody's going through this, ni kawaida sana, you know. The cringe moment where you look like unajaribu alafu vitu havionekani, it's part of the initiation process. Yani kuna vitu ambavyo hazi kutokea mpaka upitia kinani fulani. It's part of the initiation process.
Do you think watu wengi wanaogopa kufata wito zao ama kufata talents zao kwa sababu kuna kile kitu cha kushindwa, afu watu wanakuambia, well, tulikwambia, na sisi community zetu, yani society yetu sisi ya Kitanzania, ndo number one. Watu wanakwambia, si ulijifanya, si tulikwambia, nini na nini, wewe si unajifanya mjiwaji. Do you think that's what holds people?
Absolutely, Cynthia. It's the fear. Kwanza ukitoa the fear of the unknown, it's the fear of looking stupid. Kwa sababu you will look stupid at some point, because you don't know what you're doing half of the time, unfortunately. And watu, I think you said it so correctly, kwamba watu in our community wanasubiri, kwanza wanakaa tu pembeni na kuangalia, like they won't be your customers in the beginning, and they just want, okay, let's see how long this person lasts. Alafu ukianza na kutoboa, you have from back in the day, yeah, she was my home girl, I told her to do this, you know. Like it's a cringe moment for them, it's a cringe moment for you, it's a very awkward moment, and it's so awkward. Kwa hiyo, I think that fear in our hold back, and I'm not gonna say I didn't have it, that would be very nani. Everything I'm saying right now, it's not from textbook, it's from experience. So I've gone through that moment, and then at some point in me, I think it's also like a state of mind. I don't even think that it's the community that has changed. I think it's I who has changed my belief, kwa sababu unajua imani ndio inaponya, like everything, like whatever you believe is what kind of gets you through the day. So it's ndio maana nasema mwisho wa siku ukiwa una follow your purpose, it's really a transformation of this, you know, because to go will transform. Kwa hiyo, this fear is real, the fear is real. So anybody's going through it, ni kawaida. Ni kawaida sana. I think it's also setting the intention. Now the end goal has to pull you, has to be so strong. I guess you black how do you know it's a purpose? Because it just doesn't go away. It's like that nagging friend who goes ding 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 ding, and they keep reminding you ding 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 ding. It's like, you know, they just keep nagging. So the way to sustain throughout the whole process, ni ile kale ka nagging kale, you know, they'll always remind you. Yeah. I think it's the relearning. The painful relearning, and I guess
relearning, kama ulivyosema, yani hamna mtu ni kama unataka ku rewire. It's so hard.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, this is such, natamani tungeweza kuongea mpaka kesho kwa sababu kuna so much, yani hata hivi unavyoongea Oh, I'm resonating so much. Kila mtu is going through their own journey, and the things you were saying, I was like, yani light bulbs, like, and I think kama ulivyosema, it's such a divine moment kwa sababu people are sent kuweza kukuonyesha vitu fulani ama kukuambia vitu fulani at different times, and you just did it for me. You did it for me. Hivi vitu vyote ulivyokuwa unasema, it comes all full circle, kwamba mwanzoni kabisa wakati tunaanza, sijui kama unakumbuka, ulisema kuhusu you gotta give yourself permission, you gotta give yourself grace, na just kuwa in one, stay in the moment, and you know, don't be afraid of anything. Mambo ndio utaogopa, there are times utaogopa when you're doing something, lakini when you are trying to fulfill your purpose, you just have to give yourself permission and grace to kusamehe mambo mengine, kusamehe watu wengine, and keep going, because that's part of grace. So what I want to say is, wow, just wow. Yani nimejifunza vingi, and I feel so good right now. I'm so excited. I feel like I can go take over the world. Any suggestion ama maoni yoyote ambayo unataka kumwambia mtu ambaye anaangalia hii video sasa hivi, ambayo is going through this whole awakening thing, transformational thing, ama wanajihesabu kwa sababu wanasikia kitu fulani wanatakiwa wafanye, lakini hawajui how to go about it, ama hawaelewi kama are they just going crazy, ama nani atamjudge vipi ama nini? What would you say to them? Utamwambia nini mtu kama huyu?
I think I would tell them to be their best friend, to not gaslight themselves, to make themselves a priority, because ukipewa chance ya kuongea na mtu hawezi kumgombeza kama unavyojua. We are so hard on ourselves. We are biggest critics. Like, it is a natural thing kufeel hicho kitu unachofeel, because that's how we are communicating as a collective. That's how energy soars. God is talking to us. But we don't trust that voice. We'd rather hear it from somebody else. I'm like, cut the middle person out. Cut them and practice you prioritizing you. Najua kuna movement ya self-love. I used to be a big self-love movement person, but I'm more like self-care, connecting to you, like going back to you. Like, I think that's also where eventually I'm at, because I don't have those external sources that kurudi na kuna kuvalidate. So going back, okay, lakini ukirudi back to you, you kind of need to also go back to God, because the God lives in us. Kwa hiyo ukiwa unarudi, the voices, the inspiration is coming from that place. So make you your best friend. Trust your instinct. Yani, it never lies. Yani, so kama opinion ya mtu mwingine is even better than yours. The opinion you hear is better for you because it's catered to you. That is your navigator. Kwa hiyo gentle. Lakini speed pia is also a detrimental thing. Kwa hiyo naposema to move quickly, ni move quickly lakini slow. I don't know if that makes sense. Lakini it's like make the decision quickly lakini move kwa utulivu. Because you can't hear that voice until you're very, very, very centered and very calm and very quiet. But just that, because yani kila kitu kipo ndani. Hauwezi kuwa umepewa purpose alafu hauna resources. You need to go back inside. But most important, make you your best friend, because wewe ndo CEO, wewe ndo financial officer, wewe ndo marketing officer, wewe ndo yani kamati yako yote iko ndani. Lakini mweke katikati the man upstairs. Yani inabidi ujikubali vibaya mno yani. Na hiyo kujikubali haiji siku moja. It can take years, but just be on that journey and the rest will be fine. You're sorted.
Wow. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that was just amazing. Thank you so much. Yani, yes, I love it. I love everything. Yani, I love the vibe. Kila kitu ulichoongelea just resonates so much kwa sababu it's just what it is. Number one, it's so divine. It's a divine moment.
I know, like when we started talking, we just started laughing. It's really divine.
So much
for all you're doing and the energy that you have in trying to tell stories, the impact you're doing sasa hivi, usiache.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so
Katiache.
much. Thank you.
Your energy is infectious, and I hope that
Thank you.
I hope that more and more people get inspired by your work. More and more people wajiongeze.
Yes.
More and more people find their calling through your calling. Mungu akubariki sana.
Thank you so much. I am praying that watu wakiwa wanaangalia watu kama wewe sasa here wanapata ile nguvu ya kujiongeza, kwa sababu kama umesikiliza this conversation ya leo na huja sisimka ama unapata nguvu ya kutaka kutoka kwenda kujiongeza, I don't know what else. Sijui kitu gani kingine kinachosimua, kwa sababu oh my gosh, that was so wonderful. So kama watu wanataka kuja watu wanakupata wapi? Watu wanakupatia wapi? Wewe ama Darasa Tech?
So digitally unatupata on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah, so Mboni.Kibelo, that is for my personal, lakini zote ni Darasa Tech. If you do Mboni.Kibelo on these platforms, au ukisema Darasa Tech on these platforms, umenipata. Otherwise, tuko Kigamboni, our offices in Kigamboni, tuko Kisota, yeah, opposite na shule ya sekondari ya Bujumbe.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, look forward to bumping into anybody out there. Na nini, kwa hiyo, if you sit around, just say hi and we have a chit chat.
Awesome. Nisisahau nikupe heshima yako, Dr. Mboni. Thank you so much for kuwepo hapa kwenye Jiongeza podcast. It was such a pleasure. Nimejifunza vitu vingi, natumaini hata walio tune in wamejifunza. Na kwa wale ambao mtahitaji labda kupata contacts za Darasa Tech ama za Dr. Mboni, zote zitakuwa mwisho wa hii video hapa kwenye Jiongeza podcast, so angalia mpaka mwishoni. And I want to say, kama bado huja subscribe kwenye Jiongeza podcast, naomba ufanye hivyo kwa kugonga hiyo subscribe button as well your notification bell, ili kila unapotoa video mpya basi uweze kutaarifiwa. Until next time, kama una maswali yoyote, tafadhali acha hapo chini kwenye comments. Na siku nyingine tutaweza kumleta Dr. Mboni tena hapa kwenye Jiongeza podcast ili aweze kujibu maswali yako, na aendelee kutujuza na kutuelimisha kuhusu hayo mambo ya wito. Jamani, it's such a good topic. I love it. So Mboni, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me so much. Right sana. Mungu akubariki, nashukuru sana for having me, for allowing me to share with your audience.
Thank you so much.